Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm your host, Barbara Marville Kelly. Thanks for joining us because today we are featuring the Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce. And guess who my right is? Jean, again.
Again.
We say the same thing. It seems like just
It
yesterday.
seems like we're at every single week, but it's every month.
It's every month, exactly.
I guess the more mature we get, the faster time goes.
Speak for yourself. No. Anyway, we have a great lineup, as we always do. We have had so much fun presenting the guests and the businesses in the community, the integrity, people with background that you really do want to hear from. And if you've had a little bit of a second thought on insurance and the timing is now where maybe you might want to change it, then I want you to take a listen to our very first guest in the show today, who is Mary Balestrieri, and she's with Arison Insurance Services, and she's only been with them for 35 years. How about that? A little bit of experience.
And she is the Chamber's next door neighbor.
You're right next door?
Very convenient.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Right next
We
door.
were so happy to get them in there because when we moved out of our offices on Pinellas and right there in the center of town and moved into the corner office, they were the first people that came in and talked to us, and I went, oh, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need right here. And they have been great neighbors. But
Thank you. That's so good. And you know, all kidding aside, 35 years in the insurance business, focusing on Florida Blue, right?
Yes, with the same agency.
Yes, with the same agency.
So I haven't bounced around.
That, you know, I love doing business with people that really loves what they're doing. They have the passion for it. And I understand you're an expert with working with seniors.
Absolutely, yes.
Why?
Why do I choose seniors?
Yes. Because we are a unique bunch.
Because I'm a senior now, but wasn't when I started.
Okay.
But I like the idea of we still make house calls. A lot of the seniors don't want to deal just on the phone, so we do make house calls. We'll also meet in Panera, but we take our seniors very seriously and find the plan that's right for them, because there are so many different plans out there to choose from a Medicare supplement to a prescription drug plan to a Medicare Advantage plan. And we go over all the differences, and this way they can make a decision for them personally.
What works for them.
Yes.
So let's just say we have people out there right now in our viewing audience that are thinking of making a change. What would be some of the first things you would ask them with the policy that they have presently in order for them to do their homework with you to make an informed decision on making a change? Because that's a big deal, especially for us seniors. You know, we get set in our ways. We've had the same insurance for years and years. I'm guessing that it's nice to get an update on their policy.
Yes, and very, very important is the fact of your doctor being in the plan. They don't want to change. They've been with that doctor for years and years. So what I do is like a mini seminar to everyone. I explain the difference between Medicare A and B and a prescription drug plan, or go to a Med Advantage plan, which would be an HMO or a PPO. And from there, we look up the doctors, make sure they're in the plan, and also the formulary, the prescriptions, make sure they're on the plan. Florida Blue on our HMO has probably the widest network because you don't have to stay in your county. We have all the hospitals in Pinellas, Pasco, Hillsborough County, but we also allow on our HMO plan, Moffitt Cancer Center.
No kidding.
St. Luke's, and also Tampa General, Shands in Gainesville.
Really?
They're all in network on our HMO, so it's a very, very wide plan.
That is tremendous.
You only
On
have
an HMO, that is huge.
And that's through Florida Blue.
That's Florida Blue.
Wow.
Yes, we're under the Blue Cross Blue Shield umbrella. And the reason that I've stayed with Florida Blue is because of their claims history. If you ask your doctor, they'll usually tell you that Florida Blue pays very well, and whether your doctors are participating. We also have a lot of extras that we give, but Florida Blue has been around for 80 years. We're only in Florida. The umbrella across the states, yes, Blue Cross Blue Shield, but we are Florida Blue, dedicated to Floridians.
Well, I imagine that the reason so many doctors are part of that is because their reimbursement is so great and has such a good reputation.
And timely.
It's very strong.
Yes.
So therefore you get all of these hospitals. Moffitt Cancer Center and St. Luke's are just
Yes.
fabulous.
It's
to have
very,
them.
very important.
That is.
There's a lot of plans that don't cover them, and especially in this area. You need to know that if you want to go to Moffitt Cancer Center, you can. If someone wanted to go on a PPO, we do have a 0 PPO plan, no premium, and they can go to Sloan Kettering in New York if they need to.
Really?
On our 0 PPO plan.
No kidding. So
I never
that's
knew.
one of those Medicare Advantage plans.
Yes, that replaces Medicare. Medicare A and B has a lot of gaps and loopholes and co-pays.
Which is the standard Medicare.
Standard Medicare, you're given Part A and then you purchase Part B, but it leaves so many gaps for you that you would need a Medigap or a Medicare supplement plan.
Okay.
Now that doesn't cover prescriptions, so now you have to add a prescription drug plan to that.
Oh, God, she's giving me anxiety with that.
So
that's if
to
you're in regular
replace
Medicare.
that, because you're talking probably an average of $300 a month times
Okay.
12 months, 12, 24, $3,600, but then you pay nothing. Or you can go on a 0 premium HMO or PPO, pay nothing, and pay very small co-pays when you go to the doctor.
And you're talking about what, $35, $45 for
No, actually, on the HMO, your family doctor is free, no limits, of course. We have all the Baycare doctors in the
Okay.
area. And your specialist would be $20 on the HMO.
No kidding. That is
All
a
your
very low
generics are
copay.
free. And then we add things to it. Like if I can just read off a couple of
Of
the...
course, yes.
A couple of
this
the
is new
extras.
news to me. Did you know any of
I
this?
knew a little bit of it because my mother is on regular straight Medicare, and I knew that there was the Advantage plan, and Mary and I talked some about this as well. She's in another state, but I had her go take another look at this Advantage plan.
Yeah. Now, like I said, with the 0 HMO, you also get prescription coverage. Your generics are free, Tier 1 and Tier 2.
Oh, really?
And also, your Tier 3 brands are only $30. So someone that takes
What's a
Advair...
Tier 3 brand?
It's tier. You have 5 tiers in the Medicare Advantage RX plan. So Tier 3 would be a preferred brand.
Okay.
For instance, Advair, which sells for almost $400, would be $30 for you.
That's incredible. And then Medicare picks up the balance.
And then,
Wow.
no, Blue Cross picks up
Blue
the
Cross picks up the
balance.
balance.
Yeah, but we also have comprehensive dental thrown in there, which is
really?
not just 2 cleanings a year. It's exam, x-rays, deep cleanings, fillings, all covered, even a copay for dentures if you need it. That's included.
And
we
that's
also
a 0
have
premium.
$250 allowance toward your eyeglasses. And we have, for those that not able to drive, 48 one-way trips to the doctor, to the pharmacy, even to Publix to go shopping.
No
48
kidding.
one-way, which would be 24 round trip, unless you have a friend waiting to bring you back. But 48 one-way, and we also do $60 allowance every quarter of over-the-counter drugs, supplements, just about anything you can buy in a drugstore. You get $60 every 3 months free.
And that's something that my mother did not have on hers, that she, and you had told me about this and switched over to that. And it covers toothpaste and toothbrushes and dental floss. It covers Advil, or the whatever the generic brand of Tylenol or Advil is, and even things like incontinence diapers and I
It
think
goes as far as
unbelievable.
the rails that you attach in the bathroom for safety.
Okay.
Those are covered.
No kidding.
You can get first aid kits. There's so many things. Blood pressure cuffs. 1 month, maybe you just want to get 1 or 2 big items. Next month, you get your supplements and your Tylenol and things like that.
Yeah, she ended up getting a brace for her wrist, which I didn't even think about. And that
Right,
was all
that's
covered. It was
covered
all
also.
part of it.
So the difference, if you go on a supplement paying an average of $300 a month, you don't get any of those extras. No silver sneakers on a supplement.
Oh, yes.
Silver sneakers are on a Med Advantage plan, HMO and PPO, so that would be a gym membership.
So, just out of curiosity, and I don't believe in slamming other companies or anything like that, but we're talking really, in general, what you can get with what you're doing here for 35 years. You obviously believe in the company. There are a lot of bennies. How does this compare to Humana? Just if I'm your customer right now and I'm thinking of changing, and I have Humana and I have PPO because I want to go to my doctors. If I understand you correctly, did you say that all the physicians in this area, or did I miss something, are included on this plan?
Most of the doctors are all included.
But most is really good.
Yes.
Well, and that's what we're saying is because it covers so much. And Florida
big
Blue
thing
is such a good reimburser. The doctors want to be part of it.
Yes.
Right. A big thing, you mentioned Humana. Very good company, been around. It's in a lot of different states. But they pay their doctors differently. So their doctors are what they call capitated, and you'll find usually the doctor doesn't see other companies, just Humana, and they're paid a pool of money, and then from there, if you go to a specialist, if you're admitted to a hospital, it comes from the pool of money. Florida Blue pays our primaries and our specialists separate of one another, so no reason not to get a referral. And our referrals to the specialists are good for 6 visits.
Wow.
So you don't have to go back.
We could sit here and talk to you all day. I can't believe our segment is winding down. Thank you so much, Mary. This is a world of information. Thank you. I want your card. We'll be right back after this. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, your host for My Chamber TV, and we're featuring the Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce. And boy, do we ever have a great lineup, as always. Jean, you did it again.
I love it.
This
is so much fun.
I know. Speaking of fun, wait till you hear about liveworkplay.media. We have Christine Vasiliades.
Good job.
Did I do it?
Good
Okay.
job. I always butcher her last name, but it's one of those things where if you're Greek, you listen to it one way. If you're American, you listen to it another
That's
way.
true.
I love that.
But it's just versatile.
Either way.
Well, I didn't get a chance to get a little more information before the show because I like it to come organic on the show.
Okay.
But we did touch a little bit as we were, changing guards here with the mics and everything. So this is your business. How long have you had Live, Work, and Play?
4 years. October 21st is 4 years.
So what made you decide to put businesses in a hardcover, beautiful, full-color picture book?
Well, it happened by accident, as most good things do. It wasn't a dream. It wasn't a plan. Someone I know from Pittsburgh, I live here and in Pennsylvania, like 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, a month here, a month there, and she said she was staying in Hershey from Pittsburgh, and she said, she called me, do you people not have books in your rooms like the rest of the world? And I said, I don't know. I don't stay in hotel rooms here. So I had just left 20 years of opening and running restaurants, and I didn't know what I was going to do. So
But you knew you didn't want to do restaurants.
I did not.
anymore.
It's hard. It's the hardest job there is. So I said, you know what? I'm at the beginning of my 50s. I think I'm done with this venture now. I'm going to find a new path. And she called me, and I went and I did research, and I found that the capital of Pennsylvania, no books in the rooms. Gettysburg, Hershey, that whole area did not have that. So I decided I was good in bliss, just in ignorance, decided I was going to do it. I don't come from advertising, marketing, publishing, graphic, none of it.
But you know marketing.
Wow.
You just instinctively
I do.
know
It's
marketing
funny
from what
because
you've done.
my whole life people said you're always really good at marketing, my restaurants. And
Yes.
I didn't really think anything of it till I started doing this, and people are like, this is you, this is you. And I thought, okay, if I'm going to do this thing, I want it to support small business. So everything from my media kit with my pricing structure, all of it is suited to small business. I don't ever want a business to look at it and go, this is great, I don't know if I can afford that. So what I want is for people to look at it and go, wow, this is awesome, I love how you distribute. My books are always a gift from someone you're doing business with. So I work with realtors, builders, HOA communities, property managers that gift this book to new residents, new homeowners, or you find it in lodging, like Beyond the Wall Bed and Breakfast, the Fenway Hotel, where it's in room. So it gets out a multitude of ways, but it's always, it's generally a gift, or you see it in lodging.
I didn't realize these books had started to disappear because back when I used to travel a lot for a living, I loved looking at them. And when you walked in my office it was a little over a year ago.
Yeah.
I went, well, we've already got these, don't we?
Yeah.
No, we don't have these. And I just instinctively loved what you were saying. And
Thank you.
I loved the.
Well, I can't hear that
I think
enough.
the one that you showed me was, one. Well,
I think I showed
earlier
you one with the
version.
capital of Pennsylvania on it, because that was these 4 editions are the current. Now, this is for Gettysburg, York. This looks like Tampa Bay. That one's Lancaster, PA. Oh, there we go.
I am really blown away with this. Let's talk about these 2 pages right here.
I know, those are awesome.
I am guessing that this could probably be one of the most affordable ads. I'm guessing.
It is. I mean, well, and we're fully digital, so every single book, one of the first, usually it's on the 3rd or 4th page, there's a QR code that leads you to my website, and when you go to that website, you can digitally read every current edition on the homepage, but more than that, you can read every previous edition on drop-down menus for each specific area.
goodness.
Yeah, it's all together.
I am so sorry. That's my phone. Oh, they're calling. I think about advertising. See, they're already calling me. No, but I never knew what QR codes were.
Yeah.
Until. Actually, I learned that through the studio here.
Yeah.
Because if you can put that, I have it on my phone with the QR code, and what you just said.
Yeah.
And if you're not with the digital age, I wasn't either. But think about it: if you're a business owner and you have that, my goodness, you could spend all day hitting up every single one of those.
That's the whole
codes.
idea, and I've always used I've used QR codes for the last 2 years. To lead people to my website. Ironically enough, one of my largest readers outside of the U.S. is Ireland, which is so awesome when I look at my analytics. I've had people from Colombia, Kuwait, the UK, Canada digitally read my books on the platform that we embed with
Oh, that's neat.
from those actual countries.
We know QR codes have changed because when they first came out, I wasn't real impressed with them. A lot of realtors were using them when
Yeah.
you walked up to a house, and then you would put that on, and it would show you some information.
Correct.
And it was very limited, and then they sort of faded. But then they went back, and now the whole thing is much stronger. And yes, using it this way.
Well, more
is
people are
fabulous.
familiar. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
to say thanks to the pandemic because God bless, but
Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. There have been a lot of blessings, stories of blessings due to this pandemic. And perception is everything. A lot of people have we've interviewed them here, right?
Yes.
New businesses that have opened up in spite of this pandemic.
That's true.
Craziness.
That's
So
true.
I'm looking through here, and the quality is absolutely unbelievable.
Yes.
What
Thank you.
the quality you have. Look at this full color.
Yes.
I mean,
And
this.
the
I think
fact that
this
it's-
this is collectible.
Well, that's the idea.
This
Is that
is
has an
collectible.
extremely
It's just
long
beautiful.
shelf life, and
Yes.
in this day and age, it's wipeable if you want it.
It's
if you need to
beautiful
wipe it
colors.
down. When I leave here, actually, I'm dressed very comfortable because when I leave here. The property management company that I went to in Tampa loved my book so much they took it to Carrollwood Village HOAs, and they said, well, we love this. Would you consider delivering door to door to 2,100 homes? My
go.
mouth said yes. My mouth said yes. So I'm in the process, several hours of every day I spend delivering these, go into doorknob bags with a nice little card that says, enjoy this publication, compliments of live, work, play, and your community property. And they go door to door, and I spend a couple hours each day doing that so I could knock that out a little bit at a time.
My creative mind is just going wild
yes.
right now.
Yes.
This I love this.
Well, Christine is so engaging too.
Yes, I can-
So for
yes.
her to get out in the community
Yeah.
as well, I mean, it's just a natural. When
The
she-
old-fashioned way of doing things,
Well,
really.
I mean, I
You know
still
what?
remember-
It kind of is.
Yes.
Back, you know what? I was born in 1963. I mean, come on. Back in the day, we shook hands, and that's how you did everything.
That's
Was you were like, this is my product. And I was just telling the gentlemen who were on next from Dunedin bike tours that I cold call on people because you can't. So often someone will say, "Can you send me an email?" And I politely say, "I can't do that because you can't define this in an email. You can't define it in a
No,
phone call.
no.
You
Show
need
and
to
tell.
say." This is what I do, and when people see it, they are always, they can't wrap their head around the fact that it's an actual book.
Yes,
It's a book,
yes,
not a
it really
booklet.
is.
It's a book, and it's filled. They're all filled with small businesses, and I have them on today. When I first sat down, I was told how cute my shoes are, which are from Plum Bottom. Shout out to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Plum
see?
Bottom shoes.
See?
Mindy's Boutique in Lidditz. Roxy K Boutique in Dunedin.
I love her.
Yeah.
See, well, you know,
Village Artisans Gallery in Boiling
you know,
Springs.
and they're in your books.
They're all in my
advertised.
books. I am a walking advertisement for everybody I work with.
She has this so put together. Do you remember the welcome wagon? Did
Yes.
you remember the welcome wagon?
Absolutely.
But this is just this is my new best friend. I love this.
But she has done such an amazing job, and I think.
Oh, yeah.
And if John will put the ad up that we have in there, that's for Tarpon Springs. One of the things over the course of the winter, there it is,
go.
and talking about
is
the
this
fact that we're
ours?
two
This is Tampa Bay,
Ooh,
correct.
I'm gonna steal this one.
You
I
steal
gotta
away.
steal this. I look. Oh, look at.
Christine came up with this layout. This is the mural from the side of our building. And next thing I knew, she put it in the Hershey in the Hershey book. And I went, okay, I can afford to do that. And then you put it in, I think, was it Lancaster?
I did.
Well, one of my board members, you talk about kudos to me because of you. One of my board members called me and said, how did we get in a book from Hershey? I just got a call from he's a financial advisor, and he said, from a client up in Hershey, Pennsylvania, we have a 2-page spread in this book. And I said, uh-huh. And it was Christine who did that. You made me look so
You're
cool.
welcome.
You're
welcome.
And
Love
was one of those
it.
things- But you have a special connection with Tarpon Springs, too.
I do. My Yayin Babu lived here on Bath Street on the bayou for many, many years. And then as my Babu got a little bit older and his health started failing, he and my Thea, my aunt, moved over to a block and a half to Explorers Cove, which is a block and a half from where I live now, for many years. And then I wound up moving here. I lived here 15 years. My oldest son I had to go back to PA, and when I did, my oldest son stayed. And so I keep coming back, family and the connections, just all of it. And so I finally got a place here, and so I bounced back and forth.
When she came in my office, I mean, we were talking, and then she's, and I don't know the Greek word, but is it your grandmother, your godmother?
My nuna, Bessie.
Okay, had been in talking with me on a Greek philanthropic, and I can't pronounce it.
Philoptikos?
Yes, Philoptikos.
Okay.
Philoptikos.
And
It's the philanthropic arm of the church.
So you're part Greek and Sicilian, are you?
My mom is a few Irish, Dutch, Welsh, and my dad is Greek.
Wow.
So Greek Irish?
I love it.
No, I've learned the temper's down here now as I get older.
That's another interesting thing, because you and I need to get together, because I'm Irish, obviously, and Scottish. So in this Greek town, but her godmother was one of the most elegant 90-year-old women I have ever seen in my life. Came in, and so we talked an ad out of me for this thing that the chamber doesn't normally involved in. I ended up with a half-page ad, writing her a check, and was just
I think it was for the fashion show for the church.
It was for the fashion show,
goodness.
and she was in black and beautifully coiffed, and and she said, "Well, I'm 90 years old," and I went,
She's going to be 92 this.
I was
God
floored.
bless her.
So
Yeah.
then a year later, in walks Christine, and we're chatting and whatever, and she went, I know who we're talking about. So anyway, but what is really special now that we're running almost out of time is the fact that you are now coming back to some of your roots too.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I think that every day as I'm just driving around, whether I'm in the pool watching sunset and I can see Fred Howard and sunset on the other side. Yeah,
Tarpon's a
so
pretty
many
special
memories.
place.
And when I post on Facebook, as I often do, my cousin chimes in from Jacksonville, and yeah, I remember doing this as a kid. I remember doing that as a kid, and it is special to be back here again and have a business here. And I know my Yaya Bapu would be super proud of me, and they would love to see the Tarpon Chamber in it and all the things
fact that we've
Tarpon
got-
in it.
And the fact that we have a Tampa Bay book.
We gotta go
We do,
already.
but,
you are a delight. I want your
was
card.
fun.
I do want to talk to you because my mind's going crazy. You got to check this out. We're going to be right back with more on Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. You're
Awesome, my pleasure.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV, the heartbeat of the Tampa Bay community. I'm your host, Barbara Marvell Kelly, and with me is Jean Hungiville, Tarpon Chamber of Commerce rocks. Absolutely rocks.
You think we've had a good segment so far? You ain't seen nothing.
Oh, I know. Just wait. You guys better get ready. If you need to have some fun and laughter, well, guess what? We have Dunedin bike tours here where fun is done. Trust me when I tell you that. We happen to have Russ Hilton and Jake McFadden with us, and we've had a short amount of time to get to know these guys, and I'll tell you what, this is awesome. You two are so funny. You make me want to go on your bike tour. Let's talk about it.
The tours actually started as an idea just because I had friends that were coming to town, and I was putting them in the car and taking them around to different places here in Dunedin. But I decided I like to do bike tours when I travel, and I started looking around to find other bike tours, and I couldn't find anybody doing a tour. And so I created my own, started the business. We started Dunedin bike tours in January, and then in October.
January of this year.
January, yes. What a year to start. Yes.
Yes, yes, in spite of you know what.
Right.
Not even saying it.
So, started out in January, and in 5 weeks got it opened up, started doing our first tour, and we've been doing tours ever since. And in August, Jake and I got talking. He's my bike tech and tour guide in the Tarpon Springs. But we got talking about adding one for Tarpon Springs. And one thing led to another, and we started coming up with a tour. And now we have one started in Tarpon.
I walked into my office and I said, what a great idea.
It is a great idea. It's my hometown of 23 years. So walk me through a tour on a bike in Tarpon.
I'll let Jake take this one. He's our tour guide.
I want to join you. Let's go.
All right, so
John's got
we
some
start
pictures,
out
so
at the
we'll see
historic
some of it,
train
too.
station here in Tarpon Springs, and we go on about a 4-mile ride through the downtown area and the sponge docks. And we stop at little spots along the way that are historic. We stop at little places like the downtown areas and just show them where all the nice restaurants that we would recommend eating at are and things like that. And the tour is a very casual ride. We don't ride fast, and it's usually in a group that's 10 or less because of the CDC guidelines right now. And it's just a ton of fun. And I'm the tour guide, and I'm a Tarpon Springs native. I was born right in Tarpon Springs. As you know, Tarpon Springs has a lot of roots in the Greek world. So
Sure.
There's a big Greek community there. My mother's Greek, so I have quite a few roots there. So it's quite a nice tour. I really enjoy it.
I've even taken the tour just kind of on my own, just follow him, what he's doing with it. And he's told me a lot of stories, and he's funny, and all these different things that he'll tell about his family or things like that. And just makes it much more interesting tour. Yeah, much more personal
I
tour.
know you stop at St. Michael's Shrine, you go
Yes.
down to the bayou, you go through the Sponge Docks area. Is Safford House
Safford
another
House.
one?
Safford House is one of the biggest locations,
Yeah.
And we talk a lot about the Saffords and what they've done for Tarpon Springs too, because
Oh, it's pretty amazing.
they were huge key members in the community and building up the city to what it is today.
You know, I think this is so wonderful to bring all of these iconic people to the forefront in a tour where you're having fun, you're learning about the area. We've lived here for 23 years, and I learn more about my hometown from doing this show. It's true. And it's just so enlightening and fun, and you guys make it fun too, and you just started this in January. So how many tours do you do?
Right now in Tarpon Springs, we're doing one tour a month. It's the first Saturday of the month. But we're hoping to expand that out in January and going forward. So our next one is December 5th.
Okay.
It starts at 9 o'clock, right behind the train station. Actually, we're meeting at the train station now.
Which is the home of the Historical Society,
Historical
right there at
Society.
Safford,
Okay.
on Pinellas Trail.
Right.
But we put it out on our Facebook page for you, as well as put it out as an email blast to our membership. So, but getting it out there on Facebook should also be a really good help.
Yes.
Yeah, that is this Saturday coming up.
Yeah, a week from Saturday. We actually have a lot of fun with this. My philosophy, and Jake fits right along with this philosophy. I have 3 philosophies. Have fun. No matter what you're doing, have fun with what you're doing, even if it's hard work. Work smart, so we're always very safe with everything. So we're socially distant. We cross crosswalks, make sure everybody's getting across the streets safely. And last one is no regrets. If you do the first 2 right, you will have no regrets at the end of the day and sleep well.
You know, you're right about that. You're doing what you love what you do. If you can't have fun and you dread going to work, I'll tell you, I have more fun doing these shows on my chamber TV, meeting people like yourself and matched enthusiasm in spite of what's going on in the volatile times in the world. We make our own fun.
That's right. Yes,
we have put so many good chemicals in our bodies just today, laughing and kibitzing and joking around, and people need that right now.
Yes.
Oh, they sure do.
really
Yes.
We all need this, even if it's just for a couple of hours or a day, and something to look forward to. Something to look forward to. And it's old-fashioned, old-time fun, getting out and engaging in your community.
Well, the thing with their bicycles, which is getting out in the community, is that you can have a beach cruiser. You do not have to have one of these high-speed bend-over,
Wait.
crazy bikes.
You have the bikes, that's right.
And we have bikes in Dunedin right now.
Okay.
But you bring your own bikes for the Tarpon tour
For
right
Tarpon,
now.
For now.
But we hope to expand that out and eventually get our own fleet. to it, so.
See it? It's going to happen. I can see that.
It's coming. But yes, it's pretty exciting. But
Oh,
yes,
my
but
goodness, I
it's
love
one of
it.
those things. Good energy.
Yes.
You get to meet friends, and of course, it's one of those things where you see people who are going on a bicycle. This is relaxed,
That's right.
Yes.
fun.
Life goes 100 miles an hour. We go 3.
And I'm looking at the beach cruiser that's right there behind you too, and that is my speed of bike.
Oh, nice.
And
That looks
that's the kind
sturdy,
of thing
too.
where it's like, okay, this is comfy to me. 4 miles is comfy to me. Stop and have lunch, do all of the good stuff, and learn some of the history.
Yes.
So you limit it to 10, so you're following the guidelines and all. I think that's fabulous.
Yep.
I bet you didn't have trouble getting started, did you?
Actually, our first tour sold out in Tarpon.
Yes, it did.
So did you have to put a waiting list
And
together?
did not have to put a waiting list, but we did sell out on the first tour. And we've had a private tour since then because of that. And I even had repeat customers from my Dunedin tour came out to the Tarpon tour.
Oh, that's
'cause it'd be
wonderful.
something different. You did something for Bay Area young professionals as well.
Yes, we started a sunset tour for the Bay Area young professionals. Just to do a sunset tour, we start at Fenway Hotel, and we go around Dunedin and end up back there.
These are my kids under 40. Remember I was talking about
Yes,
all of our
yes.
chambers got together.
Yes.
And that was when I had first heard about you all. And they were like, oh, yes, so we're going to do this. This is going to be fun. So
Yeah, so I've kind of, it's getting darker now, so I kind of suspended the sunset tours for a little while, but hopefully we'll start that back up in the spring. It gets a little bit later, and it's a great tour to enjoy the sunset. We end up back at the Fenway to enjoy for drinks and watch the sunset.
Wow, that is just so nice. So you did. I'm sure you didn't have to hesitate to join the Tarpon Chamber.
oh, he walked in the door, and he already knew when he walked in.
He was joining.
He was joining. And
Yeah.
Russ is a smart marketer. He does off-the-wall things. He was talking about
Like
another
what?
chamber.
Can we talk about what
Yes,
you do off the wall?
I have created some unique videos
Yes.
that in Dunedin
guy.
area that have.
You are that guy.
I am
Like
that guy. Because typically in Dunedin I wear a bright orange shirt that says Dunedin Bike Tours. Well, everybody knows me now with a bright orange shirt. So my marketing is starting to kick in. But I've taken it even a step farther by having these crazy, funny videos that are only 15 seconds long. 30 seconds would be a long one, right? But they're all so quipped and funny, and I do some crazy things on there that nobody else's does, and I've been noticed
you
for
are
that.
on the sponge dock.
Yeah, there I'm at the Sponge Docks with my orange shirt. But yeah, I do crazy, funny videos. If you go out to Instagram, look up Dunedin Bike Tours. If you go out to Facebook and look up Dunedin Bike Tours, you'll see all the videos. Go to YouTube as well and look up Dunedin Bike Tours.
See, that's entertainment, right? I mean, you make a present of yourself everywhere you go. You're getting people to laugh.
I actually had a story that I tell. I made a video that basically poked fun at being recognized for that guy. You're that guy. What was funny is that I was
wish we could show that. I wish we had that.
I can get it for you. I can hook you up.
Okay.
But what I did was I actually created this video with a friend of mine, basically kind of playing off the, oh yeah, you're that guy. Oh yeah, yes you are. It was funny is that we got done shooting the video, and 5 minutes later I was putting the stuff in the car, and a lady drives by, sees my orange shirt, and he goes, "Hey, you're that guy."
Oh my gosh.
I know my marketing's working
So
well.
you're known as that guy.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I love it.
That's why I was sitting over here, because I'd heard this story. He's also had other businesses ask him to do their marketing for him, and he's like, no, you don't understand. This is my stuff.
right. So I might do it for friends. That's it. You know?
But then you've got to get your partner over here, Jake, to be doing some videos.
I know. We're actually
We'll
going to
get
shoot
you
some more
dancing
videos
around
soon.
on the. We'll get you dancing around on the sponge dog.
Oh, yeah.
Doing cartwheels. Yeah, all kinds of.
I-
We
crazy
can do
stuff.
bike
This is great.
tricks. We could handle
Ooh, yeah,
Bike
that's
tricks?
interesting.
that. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Only you, though. Nobody else.
You haven't done those on video yet?
That's what the helmet's for.
Right.
Oh, I see.
You know what the worst thing about riding a bike is, right? The pavement.
My goodness.
This is how we started. We started this show with all of this laughter. So now it's coming full circle.
It really
You're going
is.
to have a fit of giggles again.
It is. I think this is great. We have less than 3 minutes remaining. How has the Tarpon Chamber helped you out?
Well, like she said before, they've done numerous things on newsletters and email blasts and things like that. I would say that they're just still promoting it even more doing this show today as well. So, I mean, she's always been a great partner to work with. So
They're going
I
to come to our next breakfast, I
That's
hope.
right. Next breakfast, I'll be there. I'll be at the next few different events they've got. So we're looking forward to be more involved.
That's really,
He's
really
going to
great.
help me with some of my happy hours when we start doing those after the first of the year, because he's got some crazy ideas on let's go do happy hours.
Yes.
Like
car
the
racing.
stand-up that guy, maybe?
Well, sort of.
Slot car racing, and so I was sitting laughing, and I thought,
Oh
oh my
my
gosh,
goodness.
I've got to pick his brain for some more fun ideas.
I used to do a lot of networking groups, and I used to come up with these unique games to get people involved and get people talking to each other. And they were all very nervous about talking to each other. But once I broke down that wall, they all just kind of engaged. And it took all those little funny games to be vulnerable in that allowed them to open up and express them. And they made great network connections.
That's wonderful. It's breaking the ice. And do you find that people in business today are having to seek out different approaches in business?
Yes.
Just because of all of this masking and the lockdowns and all that, you can't do this and you can't do that. Really?
You can to a certain point. Right. With our tours, we try to make it fun, and you have to require to bring a mask.
Right.
'Cause there are certain points.
Of course.
In all of our tours.
But
that
at
you have
least
to
we
have it.
can get out and do them.
Right.
Yes.
You can be
So
socially distant on a
thankfully-
bike very easily. You can be
And
10 feet
healthy.
apart.
and healthy outdoor activity. You get some good
Yes.
exercise.
And it
you
builds your
burn
immune
some
system.
Calories.
Yes,
And then you
yes.
get to replenish at the different restaurants. And yeah.
Oh, and that's one other thing we do. You also get a swag bag with each of our guests get a swag bag for our
that's
tours.
Right.
Right back here.
Nice.
You get a swag bag, and then we've got all kinds of goodies and coupons and discounts to local places in Tarpon or Dunedin. But they're
And a
worth at
Tarpon
least
mask.
and at least $20 value on each of the swag bags alone.
Well, that's fantastic. We're already running out of time here. We could have you
As
here all
usual.
day and entertain us.
I know.
So if you want to check it out, you definitely have to get a hold of these guys because you are going to have fun and it will be done. That is a promise. I'll guarantee that personally, okay? So Russ and Jake, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to see you around town.
All right, we'll love to have you on the bike tour.
I know. I can't wait. Gene, you did it again.
I know.
Home
These
run
guys-
every
these
time.
guys are awesome.
I know. And you're awesome too. And we're going to see you back right after this. Check out some of the things that are going on in Tarpon. Gosh, they're awesome. We'll be back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the community, and we're in our last segment today featuring the Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce. We are so excited with what's happening in our little hometown, my little hometown, and thanks to you for really pulling together a great show. All kudos to you, Jean.
Wasn't it
as
fun?
always, it really was fun. And it's about bringing fun to the community. So I hope that you will take advantage of our guests today with the tours, and it was just fantastic.
Well, it's one of the things that in the 3.5 years that I've been here, we've been working on developing, and the people are now coming out of the woodwork to join the chamber. And Dunedin bike tours, like I was saying, Russ came in the office, started chatting away, and I thought, okay, I need to go in to talk to him about. He already had been on the website, knew what he wanted, and it was like, okay, where do I sign up? And I went, oh. This means what I've been doing is getting out there.
Exactly.
And that kind of thing. When we, guests that we had last month, same kind of thing is happening. When Christine Vasiliades
Yes.
came in a year ago, we were talking, and she needed some help on something, but she also said, I need to join the chamber, and she gets it, but she needed some help getting into some marketing people, or wanting to get some customers in. She was looking at marketing, and I mean, it was just one of those things. We're a resource for how do we help businesses succeed. And as we've been talking about, and as everybody has seen on these last couple of segments, one of the things that we've been doing is putting together all of the information for the various programs that have been out there, the PPP, the EIDL, and then now there has been some more information on how do you get loan forgiveness on the PPP, and I just put that out last week.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yep, and it's one of those things where it's like all the time, every time I can get some information out to businesses in order to make sure that, because you guys are really, really, really busy. You're trying to run your business. So one of the things that we do here is take care of some of the other stuff.
Sure.
And that's what the three businesses that have come in today. Mary, when Arison Insurance was looking at a space and they wanted to be next door to the chamber because they knew the value of that, we sent people over there all the time. And then when Christine came in and she's looking at, okay, I need to get in to see the city, or I need to get in to see this person and this person. Can you help me do that? Yes, of course I'm going to join the chamber. But I knew that this was what you did. And having come from Hershey, Pennsylvania, or Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, it was like, oh, yes, one of my counterparts up there, she's had a great experience with, which is nice to hear. And then when Russ came in from Dunedin Bike Tours, and he was talking about, I need to expand into Tarpon, this is what we want to do. And part of that swag package was, I said, well, we can put some masks in there, too, the ones that we're giving out with
I love our masks.
Yes, with the mural on Christopher Still mural on the side of it. It was just, it's great. So I look at all of them as partners. And I'll give you an example of what, if you're a business owner, how you can think about it. Holly from Anytime Fitness, and Holly's been there. She was our business, big business of the year. She was saying that, I do my thing. I'm health, and I'm into health and wellness, and I understand how to run the gym, and I'm rah. And she's, kicking people's butts, and she's encouraging people, and she's knowing how to just, but running the business, that's something completely different. And so she uses Umbenhagen advisors to do her finances, somebody to keep track of her business part of it. She uses the chamber to look at, okay, how do I get the word out? How do I get some marketing out here? How do I introduce people to other segments? And so she does that. She also sends people over to see me. She used to be on our board as well. She sends people over to see me, and one of our guests, I believe, next month, which is Florida Alternative Health North. Kevin was one of the people who works out at 6 a.m. She sent him over to see me about how can I help him get his new business started. That's the kind of thing that she understands and knows how to do. So we are one of those support networks for businesses, so that restaurants can do their restaurant thing. Businesses can then, these guys do their bike tours, but how do we help them market?
Yes.
And get the word out and get the advertising out for them as well.
And that is so important because, like you were saying, people are trying to run their business and they can't do it all. They can't do the marketing. They can't go out in the community. But when you can dish it out and delegate, that's the key.
Yes, and some of the other things that we do is work on legislation that helps businesses. One of the things we were working on last year, we were working on how do you cap workers' comp fees, lawyer fees on that. If someone has a problem and you get lawyers involved, you've got to put a cap on that ability to have, instead of having it go on and on and on and on, get to a resolution, and that helps businesses. Another one this year that ended up passing, but barely, because every chamber in the state was behind this, was not going to a $15 an hour minimum wage. And it'll start at 10 and it'll go up every year for the next 5 years. But that's a business killer. And we worked with our representatives in trying to get the information out. But it was a referendum, so it went to the voters, and it came very close to not passing. But there's other things along those lines that we work on supporting businesses for. So it's not just parties, parades, and pageants.
Thank you so much for mentioning that, because in the beginning of the you-know-what, the pandemic, I think it was when I was homeschooling my grandson and you were filling in, but then when I did come back, you have filled the community with a lot of really good knowledge. And what like you're saying, and where would you find that information, really, unless you're aware of the chamber? That's why we do these shows. We've been doing these shows 7 or 8 years now. And like I've said many times, I know more about my own community than I ever did before.
Well, some of the things that, with that information that we were putting out, is you can dig into the county website, or you can dig into the federal websites but I put together the analysis of it with some help from some other business advisors, and then put the direct links in there and got it to our members so they could go right to it instead of having to sort through all of these various websites.
Yes.
And one of the things that really makes me feel very proud is when I get one of our small business members that emails me back and said, hey, I got $6,000 because you put that and you explained to me how to do that. Thank you.
Oh.
I mean, it's the kind of thing. Or somebody else says, I got $5,000 on this one from the county. Am I eligible for the second round of county money? Well, if you did this in between, which we had talked about, yes, I did that, then yes, there's another 50% of what you got the first time. And that was some of the things, and people said, well, they didn't understand that.
See, and that's the thing, you need to be able to understand it, so people just give up, they don't bother.
Well, and it gets a little complicated. And, I've even had individuals from the community call in that are not businesses and say, look, I understand there's a CARES Act for Pinellas County, but I don't understand it. What do I do?
Yeah.
And, we're not in the social work business, but the woman that I talked with 2 days ago, I pulled it up and I said, okay, you've got to get this done, and you've got to get this done by Wednesday. Do you have access to the internet? Yes, I do. Here, let me send this to you. And I emailed her the link, and I said, just go in there, fill it all out. And if you run into problems, you can call this phone number at the county, but don't wait until Wednesday, because probably everybody is waiting till the last minute. Do it now. And a lot of times people wait till the last minute, and that's not good.
No.
But so, we try to help some individuals as well if they know to call. But economic development, and economic development is not just bringing new businesses to town, because that's, our city economic development manager does that, or filling the buildings that are already there. Economic development is taking what we've got and expanding it as well into how do we make Tarpon the best that it can be.
That's so true. And you really give of your heart, Jean. You go that extra mile. I know you do. And it shows. It shows in the scheduling of your shows. We talked about that, how all the shows have a great flow, and they're entertaining and really very compelling to give you that urge to call the business owners to see what we have in Tarpon. I just love it. I always look forward to the last Wednesday of every month, because I know it's going to be a killer show.
Yep.
So thank you for that.
And then it gets to be aired the first Wednesday of the month, which we love.
I know.
It's super. But we are now starting to do some things, and let me give you a little bit of an update on what we're able to do as we're now emerging.
Good.
As we had talked about before, if it's Wednesday, there's something going on in Tarpon at the chamber.
Okay.
And we have not been able to comfortably do the happy hours because with the masks and people can't hear, and then there's music. So our board has decided that, through the rest of this year, we were not going to do our second and fourth Wednesday happy hours. So we've put those sort of on hold. Somebody said to me, why don't you do a Zoom happy hour? And I said, no. I've had enough Zoom. I've had enough Zoom during the day and Zoom meetings that I really, if I want my glass of wine, I want to go home and have my glass of wine. I don't want to be on Zoom again. But our first and our third Wednesdays is our breakfast again. And so our third Wednesday, we are at Johnny Grits, which is on Klosterman across from St. Pete College. And we have a ball. We've turned it into something called Leeds Breakfast, where we have limited to 25. We filled up the first one, which was last month.
Nice.
This month we had 20, and everybody's on their own for breakfast. Some people eat coffee, some people eat this big skillet of goodies that is so amazing. Kevin, who is the new owner at Johnny Grits on Klosterman, does a fabulous job. He mentors these guys that are those waiters that are there. He's a retired policeman who has decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and he's just energy, and good role model for these kids. But fabulous food too. We then bring in 20 to 25 people. We sit and chat, and then each person gets up and gives their elevator speech, their 60 seconds, and this is what I've got going on. And can you introduce me to, or I would like a lead, and then does that. And somebody will say, oh, I know that person. I can do that.
There's always an answer.
There's always an answer.
You'll always get feedback and an answer on where to go.
Say, who you may want to call because they know that person or know that section. And
sure.
That's the kind of thing that we're doing on that with that Leeds Breakfast. Now, the first Wednesday of the month is a little bit more informal. The location that we've been using is Copenhagen, but it is so tiny. It's no bigger than this little studio, and so we can't do social distancing, so we've had to put that off. Okay. So after the first of the year, if things loosen up a little bit, we're looking for a new breakfast location for that. I have something in mind, and that we can sort of spread out a little bit, but then hopefully we'll be doing our happy hours again. But one of the things that we have been given permission to do is our ribbon cuttings.
Yes, I see that. Do you know, and I have to again give you credit because we're members here through We Being TV with the studio, and so we're on the mailing list for all the emails. I never go delete because I want to see what's happening in my own little town.
Yes.
And it's so great because I feel connected. Maybe I don't attend to very many of them, but it's nice to know that we are connected. That is one email that I love to see.
Well, one of the things you can also do if you are not a chamber member and not getting the emails is you can go to our website, which is tarponsprings.chamber.org, and I am now activating our calendar. This has been a year old, and so it's one of those where we're starting to utilize more and more and more of it. But if you go to our calendar on that, and you can look at it and you can click on it, you will see that there are these different ribbon cuttings, the events. The ribbon cuttings are on Wednesdays. There we go. The next one coming up is on December 2nd, which is at Skintastic, which is a spa. And then on the 9th, Top Yachts, who were in here 2 months ago as a guest.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Check us out.
All right.
We
well, thank you.
love being here.
Out of time already.
I know.
It happens too quick. Thanks for joining us for My Chamber TV. We're going to see you next month with another great show. In the meantime, see what's happening in Tarpon Springs. Go to the website, give us a call, and we'll hook you up. Thanks for being here.
We are amazing.
We are.